Ever wondered why Italian food tastes so divine? Is it the fresh ingredients, the love and care that goes into each dish? Or is it the centuries-old traditions steeped in every recipe? From the pizza of Naples to the pasta of Bologna, Italian cuisine has captured hearts and taste buds worldwide. Its global influence and popularity are undeniable, making it a staple in many homes and restaurants. But what makes it so special? Well, today, you're in for a treat as we dive into a famous Italian dish. Have you ever heard of risotto alla milanese? It's a classic Italian dish that has won hearts worldwide. Originating from the vibrant city of Milan, this risotto is not just a dish, it's a celebration of Italian culture and tradition, infused with the aroma of saffron, the gold of spices. Now let's talk about what goes into this golden delight. We start with arborio rice, renowned for its ability to absorb flavor while maintaining a firm texture. Then we have the star of the show, saffron, lending its unique flavor and vibrant color. Other key players include a good quality white wine, onions, butter, and Parmesan cheese. Each ingredient works in harmony, creating a symphony of taste that is both comforting and sophisticated. So, ready to immerse yourself in the magic of Italian cooking? Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Well, wait until you learn how to make it. Scene script. First, gather all the ingredients. You'll need arborio rice, saffron, white wine, onion, and beef broth. Arborio rice is the star of this show. Native to Italy, this short grain rice is known for its high starch content, which gives our dish that classic creamy texture. If you can't find arborio, don't fret. You can substitute it with other short grain rice varieties like carnaroli or violone nano. Next up, saffron. This golden spice is worth its weight in gold, literally. It gives our dish its vibrant color and a subtle, sweet flavor. If saffron is not within reach, turmeric or even a pinch of paprika can be used as a substitute. They won't replicate the exact flavor, but they'll give your dish a similar color. Now let's talk about white wine. It adds a nice acidity to the dish, contrasting the richness of the other ingredients. Any dry white wine will do. If you're not a fan of cooking with wine or don't have any on hand, a squeeze of fresh lemon juice will do the trick. Our next ingredient is onion. It adds a sweet, mellow base to the dish. You can use either white or yellow onions. Red onions, while more pungent, can also be used if they're what you have on hand. Last but not least, we have beef broth. This is going to add depth and savoriness to our dish. You can use homemade or store-bought, and if you're vegetarian, vegetable broth works just fine. Now let's get cooking. Start by rinsing the arborio rice under cold water until the water runs clear. This removes any excess starch and prevents the grains from sticking together. Then steep your saffron threads in a bit of hot water. This helps to release their flavor and color. Next, heat up a bit of olive oil in a large pan and add your finely chopped onion. Cook it until it's translucent, then add your rinsed rice to the pan. Stir it around until each grain is coated in oil. Now add your saffron water to the rice, stirring constantly. Now that the rice is soaking up the saffron's golden hue, let's move on to the next step. Next, finely chop the onion and heat up the beef broth. This step is all about bringing out the flavors. As you navigate through this culinary journey, remember, the smaller you chop the onion, the quicker it will cook. So, get your knife skills on point. Once your onion is finely chopped, let's move on to the broth. A good, flavorful broth is the backbone of any standout risotto. You want to heat it up, but not let it boil. Keep it on a gentle simmer. That's where the magic happens. Now it's time to get sizzling. Grab a decent-sized pan and drizzle in a bit of olive oil. You don't need much, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. When the oil is hot but not smoking, throw in your chopped onions. Sauté them until they're translucent and aromatic. Be patient. You don't want to rush this bit. It's all about coaxing out the sweet, mellow flavors of the onion. Up next, our star ingredient, the rice. For a classic Italian risotto, arborio rice is the way to go. Its high starch content gives risotto its signature creamy texture. Add the rice to the pan and stir it around, letting each grain get coated with the oil and onion mixture. You'll notice the rice start to look slightly translucent. That's your cue to move on to the next step. Now the real fun begins. Grab your simmering beef broth and add a ladleful to the rice. Stir constantly until the broth is almost fully absorbed. This is a labor of love, my friends. You'll need to repeat this process, adding the broth gradually, one ladle at a time, stirring frequently. This gradual addition of liquid is what helps release the starch from the rice, giving the risotto its signature creaminess. As you're stirring, remember to enjoy the process. Cooking is not just about the end result, it's about the journey. And what a delicious journey it is. Your risotto should now be simmering nicely, releasing a mouth-watering aroma. Take a moment to savor that smell. That's the scent of your culinary masterpiece in the making. As the risotto cooks, it's time to add the wine. Now you might be wondering, why wine? Well, it's actually a key ingredient in a traditional risotto alla Milanese. It gives the dish a certain depth of flavor that can't be achieved with just stock and cheese alone. So let's get started. You're going to want to reach for a dry white wine, something with a crisp acidity to balance out the richness of the risotto. Pour in about a half a cup. You'll notice that it will start to sizzle and bubble. That's a good thing. It means the heat is just right. Now here's the part where your patience will come into play. You need to keep stirring. I know, it might seem like a lot of work, but trust me, it's worth it. Stirring helps to release the starch from the rice, which gives our risotto its signature creamy texture. As you stir, you'll notice the wine starting to evaporate. This is exactly what we want. We're not looking to make a boozy risotto, we're just after the flavor. Once the wine has evaporated, it's a good sign to start adding in your stock, ladle by ladle, while continuing to stir. Now how can you tell when your risotto is perfectly cooked? It's all about the bite. A perfectly cooked risotto should be al dente, meaning it should still have a bit of a bite to it. It shouldn't be mushy, but it shouldn't be crunchy either. It's a delicate balance, but once you've nailed it, you'll know. After about 20 minutes of cooking and stirring, your risotto should be just about done. Taste it, adjust the seasoning if necessary, then stir in a good amount of Parmesan cheese for that extra creamy finish. And voila! Your risotto alla Milanese is ready to be served. So go ahead, ladle it onto a plate, garnish with a little more Parmesan, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've just created a classic Italian dish right in your own kitchen. So you see, making risotto alla Milanese isn't as complicated as it sounds, is it? We began our Italian culinary journey by introducing the recipe, a beloved classic from the heart of Italy. The ingredients list may have seemed daunting at first glance, but remember, each component has its role in harmonizing the final dish. We kicked off the preparation by sautéing onions until they reached a perfect golden hue. We then added arborio rice, stirring it continuously, remembering that this step is crucial in achieving that signature creamy texture of a true risotto alla Milanese. Next, we introduced the white wine, allowing it to evaporate fully, ensuring that we didn't rush the process, as patience is key in Italian cuisine. We then gradually added the warm broth, one ladle at a time, stirring constantly. This slow addition ensures the rice cooks evenly and absorbs all the flavors. We emphasize the importance of the final steps, adding the saffron-infused broth and Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. These two ingredients are the soul of risotto alla Milanese, giving it its distinctive color and rich, creamy texture. Throughout the process, we kept a vigilant eye on the heat, ensuring it was neither too high nor too low, and stirred constantly. These little details are what transform a good dish into a great one. And there you have it, a step-by-step guide to making your very own risotto alla Milanese. With a bit of practice, a dash of patience, and a love for good food, you're well on your way to impressing your guests with this Italian classic. Remember, the secret to great Italian cooking lies in the quality of ingredients and patience. There you have it, your very own homemade risotto alla Milanese. The beauty of Italian cuisine lies in its simplicity, with just a few quality ingredients coming together to create something absolutely magical. This risotto alla Milanese is the perfect example. It's easy, it's healthy, and most importantly, it's incredibly delicious. So don't just watch, get into your kitchen, roll up your sleeves and give it a try. The aroma, the creamy texture, the vibrant saffron hue, it's all waiting for you to bring it to life. And when you do, don't forget to share your experience. Was it as easy as it looked? Did you enjoy the process? Did your risotto alla Milanese turn out to be a hit? Now, for our next culinary journey, we'll be diving into another classic from the Italian kitchen. Can you guess what it is? Here's a hint. It involves pasta, cheese, and a certain famous meat sauce. Until next time, buon appetito and happy cooking!